All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to more complexity casting action, bringing you HoN Tour Cycle number 2. This is the silver finals. Not going to be doing diamond right now, but we do have the finals down here in the silver division. Both of these teams already qualified for gold for the next season, but they want to battle it out for that first place prize. The cash, the points, it's all on the line right here. Joining me once again from Stay Green, Lalond. Lalond, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm actually interested because I don't really know too much about these teams. I know DoND,
Yeah.
DoberOnDamp. Some of those players I've met in TMM, but iPel is European, I believe, right?
Yes.
So I haven't seen too many of them.
Yeah, and for those of you out there that maybe are not as familiar, just to break down a little bit about who these teams are, DonD, they did have a bit of a late registration for HoN Tour, and so they took first place in the Bronze US Finals last cycle. So they already got a decent amount of points and some cash from that, and they moved on to silver. Now they're going to be fighting for first place in silver. So expect them to do pretty good things in gold when you see them there next season in iPel. And they've been around for a little while, just kind of playing one of those mid-tier, up-and-coming teams. I've seen people scrimming against them, Lions and One Trick Pony have both scrimmed against them multiple times. And they actually did do very well. They got very deep in the Sound Blaster qualifier number 1 that we cast a couple of weeks ago. So I'm looking forward to this game. It should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, do you want to get into bands right now? Because I'm interested in talking about the Dampier band that Legion did right now. I've never actually seen Dampier band ever.
Well, let's see if we can rationalize this out. Do you know what DOND stands for?
Well, it's DoberOnDamp. Does that mean they like Dampier?
Doberman plays a mean Dampier. He played in both games that I cast last week in Bronze, and it was stompy. Like against another like 1950 team, it was stompy. That's how ridiculously farmed that Dampier got. Like 23-4 in 15 minutes, like 22,000 gold in experience lead, something like that. So iPel, they banned out the Dampier.
Probably watched replays of them.
They are, of course, available in the VOD section here on coLcast. But yeah, going into that, like you said, banned out the Dampier. Also banned out Ophelia, Wild Soul, and Fade. So not going to be seeing any of those heroes. Nothing too much to talk about other than that Dampier ban.
Yeah, those are the pretty safe bans. I mean, as we casted last week with complexity and everything, people always banned Fade, and B could always ban like Wild Soul plus another push jungler. So
Yeah, of course. Getting into the lock pool looks relatively standard there. Tempest makes it in, as well as Bubbles, Parasite. You got Plague Rider, Glacius, and Tundra. So Tundra, a hero that gets banned relatively frequently, makes it into the lock pool. Of course, a great hero. You think either one of these teams might be picking him up?
I would assume so. I mean, the big reason why Tundra gets banned a lot is because the fact that he has that Hawk, and you just get a gem and you can get map control and pretty much win the game from that. You're ungankable at that point with the Hawk and an Eye.
Yeah, the clear vision afforded to him by that Hawk, very similar to the clear vision that Fade gets while she's in her reflection. And those two heroes, they fulfill a lot of the similar roles. So interesting to note right there. But rest of the band is coming, or excuse me, rest of the lock picks coming out. A couple of junglers in the form of Tempest and Parasite, and a couple strong suicides with Bubbles and Plague Rider. We'll see if any of those get picked up. Lalond, why don't you tell us a little bit about the bands?
The bands, first one was Draconis, and then Keeper, Jerziah, then Aluna, Engineer, then Pebbles. iPel banned Draconis, Jerziah, Engineer. They did the range carry and then picked up Moon Queen, which is, I guess, a semi-range carry because his range isn't as long as, let's say, a Silhouette or Draconis or a FA. And the Jerziah Engineer. Engineer, I know, is picked up by almost every team as a really strong support hero. I think every team has the capability of playing him. And then Jerziah is one of the typical band along with like one of those Tundra Jerziah bands. And then going with Keeper, Aluna, and Pebbles. Keeper from the Hellborn team, I don't see him bannable too often, unless, of course, that's just the Suicide Keeper. But I think jungling Tempest offers more to the team. And then the Luna Pebbles is a strong lane.
Yeah, it most certainly is a strong lane. So we'll see if that might get picked up. DonD running a lot of their excess time down here, and do end up picking up Rhapsody to go with that silhouette. So a hero that I've seen, I believe that I saw DonD play Rhapsody a couple of times last week, or a couple weeks ago now. But Rhapsody, of course, a relatively strong support. You think that we might see her pick up a portal key and get in the center of that action, channel that protective melody?
Most likely not. She's most likely just going to be the hard support and barely getting those boots. But as the pick of Rhapsody, I'm not a big fan of that pick. I'd rather have gone with something along the lines of like Empath or Nymphora. And like iPel picked up Empath. I think Empath into a Moon Queen is just going to be ridiculous because Moon Queen only need a few items. You need like Shrunken Head, Geometer's Bane, and one more damage item, and then with Empath in you, you're going to kill the whole team.
Yeah, of course, the extra damage and attack speed afforded to you by the As One ability. Very, very strong. But as you stated, Empath is picked up as well as Meraxes. So how are you liking the iPel team so far? Seems like they've got a decent amount of long-range, long-duration stun.
Oh, I actually love the iPel team. They have a really good hard carry with Moon Queen and a good support with Empath. Meraxes is going to go mid. It's really hard to kill him, and he's a good initiator. I think it's a really good lineup so far.
Yeah. Last pick over there for DonD is going to be Pharaoh, so getting a little bit of the initiation out of the way, but they say no, that's not enough, as they do pick up Tundra as the second lock and finish out their team with Tempest. First lock, of course, was Parasite on the other side, and the iPel team, no instances, picks up Plague Rider. So both these teams complete. Now, you talk a little bit about the iPel team. They've got their carry, they got their initiator, finishing it out with Parasite and Plague Rider. What does that really do for their team?
I mean, I wasn't a big fan of picking that Parasite. I think getting the Tundra into maybe another jungler would have been better. But the team isn't that bad. They have the Suicide Plague Rider, of course. With the Moon, they can either do Meraxes Empath middle, and then Moon Queen bottom, or they can do Meraxes mid with Empath Moon Queen bottom. And I'm hoping the Parasite aggressive jungles to stop the Tempest farm. But we'll see how he decides to do that. According to the Hellborn team, their lineup got a lot better as soon as they picked up Tundra and Tempest. I mean, at first I saw Rhapsody, Pharaoh, and Silhouette. I was like, okay, it's not too good, but it's not too bad. And then they fine-tuned it out with the Tundra Tempest, and now I think that other team is really good now. I mean, both teams seem to be decent. This would be a good match.
Yeah, the initiation potential is kind of what sticks out to me on the Hellborn team. When you have a portal key being picked up on Tempest, probably a portal key being picked up on Tundra, the Wrath of the Pharaoh on Pharaoh, and then maybe even a portal key on Silhouette, the distance, the reach of the Hellborn team, it's going to be kind of crazy. They're just going to be able to fly at you from completely off the screen and deal massive amounts of damage before the other team's able to react. Because look at the initiation and the counter initiation from the Legion team. Their only initiator really is that Meraxes, and their counter initiation is just damage.
Yeah, they don't really have any counter initiation. Like, in order for Legion to win the team fights, they're going to rely on that Meraxes getting that portal key. As to where Hellborn they can get initiated on and have a Tundra or a Pharaoh follow up or a Tempest follow up. Like, their team fight and initiation is much better on the Hellborn team, but I feel when it comes to laning, I feel the laning phase for the Legion is going to be better. I
agree. Now, looking at the laning phase here, what are you expecting from the Hellborn?
They'll probably do Suicide Tundra, Jungle Tempest, Pharaoh middle, with Rhapsody Silhouette top. I mean, there's a lot of things they can do, and none of them really bad in a sense. They could dual lane bottom, jungle, solo top, solo mid. But if I was them, I would probably Suicide the Tundra with Pharaoh mid, Rhapsody Silhouette top with the Tempest in the safe jungle. Just for the fact that Rhapsody can check runes for the mid hero, and he could stack for the Silhouette and Tempest.
All right. Did you see Milkfet just shout us out? And
oh yeah, I just saw that. Yeah,
it messed up there at the end. I didn't even realize until he told me. It says Lexity HoN to check it out.
Yeah, I saw that just now.
Sorry, weird. But anyway, yeah, we're sitting in this pause. They're trying to see if they're going to be ready or not, but going into this laning phase, it's going to be interesting, especially to see. There's a lot of aggressive lanes here, and I talked about the long stun duration on something like the Empath. Empath Meraxes is opposed to something like an Empath Engineer lane that we can see quite often. That Empath stun, breaking her Essence Link, is that what it's called? Essence
yeah,
Link.
I think it's called Essence Link, yeah.
That's much more of a guaranteed stun than something like a Keg. And it's pretty long duration. At level 4, it's 2.5 seconds, I believe, which would make it, 1.5 seconds or 1 second at level 1? And with
yeah, it's 1 second at level 1.
Yeah, once she gets to level 3, 1.5 seconds stun, that's generally going to be enough time for Meraxes to close the distance and land a stomp, or excuse me, a quake, and then throw off that illusory veil, the wall, drop a few of those axes, and pretty much whoever they're in lane against together is going to die. Now, if Empath is against Moon Queen, then you've got a lot to worry about as well. The long range potential of that lane, the Essence Link with its 650 or 700 range, and then the 800 range of those Moonbeams with a 1 second stun on that as well. That's going to be a lot of harass potential and a lot of long range stun potential.
Yeah, the lane, that's why I said the Empath can go either lane and it'll be fine, and Meraxes can solo mid and he'll be fine. Like that's what I like about the iPel team. They can, like, their laning is good, and the Empath fits in both those lineups. That's where you're probably not gonna see the Rhapsody go middle with a hero. Rhapsody and Pharaoh, like Pharaoh and Tundra, are both heroes that need level 6. They need that solo XP, you know.
Yeah, I would completely agree with you there, and see if we can figure out what's going on with this pause. Hopefully they do get it started up pretty soon here. Looks like they are going to be ready. All right. So we'll see if either of these teams tries to 5-man up and get a little bit of a level 1 gank going on, something along those lines. I would say that the level 1 gank potential of the Legion team is not too fearsome. Of course, if you do get that Contagion nuke on Plague Raider, that's going to set you back the same way that if you get the Leech on Parasite, then that's going to set you back. And then, of course, between the other 3 heroes, maybe not enough damage to bring somebody down. Hellborn team, they might have had enough damage, but they're not choosing to group up either.
Yeah, I'm confused. How come iPel's not trying to protect the ward off bottom lane? They just let him walk there and do it. I mean, they have a really good team to stop it if they all rush bottom.
Yeah.
Coming from DoberOnDamp, Suicide Pharaoh versus Suicide Tundra. I'm a bigger fan of Suicide Tundra because of the bird. Really? Yeah, I rather Suicide Tundra because the bird gives you vision.
Okay.
But I mean, either or is fine. Suicide Pharaoh, Suicide Tundra, either of them work fine. But I prefer Suicide Tundra over Pharaoh.
See, my opinion down there is that if you're expecting the Parasite to be in the safe jungle, then you would want Tundra there. But if you're expecting the Parasite in the offensive jungle, I think you would want Tundra in mid. Because he's going to be able to use that bird to hopefully protect himself from the Parasite ganks coming from behind him. But even though both of us expected Parasite to be in that offensive jungle, he's playing it safe right now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel Tempest can farm much faster than a Parasite. And Parasite can still get pretty much equal farm harassing the Tempest, but he decides to stay in the safe jungle. Especially after you see his items. Normally, if you're in an aggressive jungle Parasite, you get boots first.
Boots and a couple mana potions for sure. And so Parasite is going to just hang out in the middle, or excuse me, in his own safe jungle. Not a big deal. He's going to be able to get his farm on over there, but like you said, Tempest should be able to out-farm him. And speaking of out-something somebody, Porch up on the Rhapsody, completely out-harassing Plague Rider. That Extinguish ability will eventually be able to pull that lane back. But Plague Rider taking a lot of damage already, having to eat some of those trees, and not going to be able to get into any experience range up there.
Yeah, I think Porch saw him try to go ward the camp, but he reacted a little too late. If Porch is smart, he could technically pull the camp and still pull the Vagabond camp after the creeps are killing the Ogre camp, but I don't think he's going to do that.
Yeah, that's one of the harder ones to do, especially after they've changed that camp a little bit and they removed some of those trees and moved it down a little bit further. Timing on that one is pretty dang tricky, and Plague Rider, speaking of tricky, he might be caught out right here. Tempest is going to come over, wants to get the body block, not quite able to secure it. Glacial Blast going to go out. Will he be able to get the body block now? No, Silhouette's going to jump up there, not able to get into position though in time. Wasn't able to get that tree eaten, and Hellborn, they go for the first blood right there, but instead they don't get it, and they wasted a lot of time in creep killing time in the lane.
Yeah, that was a big waste of time. I mean, they were going to get the kill. Tempest stuns level 1. That was just a big waste of time. If I was them, I would have kept Silhouette farming the lane. Rhapsody could have just sat there and blocked PR from going back to lane, making go all the way around. They wouldn't have wasted anything. Tempest wasted mana on a stun, which is going to affect his early mana ring. I feel Hellborn lost a lot in that gank they tried to do right there.
Yeah, it was well played by no instances, though. Going the correct path and just able to walk away knowing that he has the movement speed advantage. Bottom lane, Moon Queen and Empath have been kind of hanging out down here. Empath is actually rotating mid right now with the double damage, and Tundra might be in a little bit of trouble as Empath's going to man up here, and Tundra's going to try to turn it around. Tundra gets the first blood right there, and will he be able to escape? Almost gets the double tap. Very nice man up there by YOLO.
Yeah, that was very poorly played by iPel. They could have done that a lot better. I mean, granted, Empath did uphill miss, which coincidentally was the reason why Tundra lived, because he manned up after him the uphill miss.
Yeah.
That was poorly played in my opinion by iPel. They could have waited. Empath could have let Tundra overextend across the river a little bit more. That'll allow you a few more auto attacks in.
Yeah, I agree. It could have certainly gone better, but you got to give credit for Tundra actually realizing the situation that he was in and having the balls to hit that cold shoulder. Gets in there, gets the damage done, and lets the tower clean up. Bottom lane looks like there might be a little bit of trouble here for Pharaoh. Empath Electric 6 is going to try to get in there and do some more damage. The Illusory Veil goes up, just kind of zapping him a bit, but Doberman is able to get out of there.
Yeah, like that goes to a thing where I'm saying, if Empath tried to man up on, let's say, a Tundra bottom, he has his Coral there too to just man up on him. And Tundras are very good Suicide Hero versus supports because you have the Cold Shoulder. You just cold shoulder and hit the support like 2 or 3 times, and they take about 300 damage.
They certainly do, as Pharaoh might be in a little bit of trouble here. Parasite trying to get the body blocks onto him. Not quite able to, and Pharaoh will be able to make it out of there. Doberman escapes with his life twice, but he's not really getting a whole lot down there in that bottom lane. Suicide indeed. Comparing him with the Suicide Plague Rider up here, who has gotten, well, 6 creep kills and has managed to get level 3 also while getting the denies going on. And he's going to get a lot more levels here as a large creep wave comes in.
Yeah, Porch needed to counter that ward for his full camp as soon as possible. Which, is he sending a ward? No, he's not. If he did that, it would help lane control versus the Plague Rider, but...
Yeah, that is something that needs to be done, but just doesn't have the money for it yet.
It's one of those things. Plague Rider, in my opinion, is like one of the easiest suicide heroes. You can just pretty much give it to anybody and just tell them, sit at tower, use your extinguish, don't overextend past river, and you're not going to die. It's pretty much
pretty accurate, yeah. So they are going to be going into another pause right here. Hopefully, once again, nothing too serious. Now, look at this snow, Lalond. They put this in this week or whatnot. It's weirding me out. Not only does it weird me out, but my overlays, my images and stuff for the stream, like these things over here, it's designed,
they're white as well.
Yeah, they're white as well. So whenever it's on top of snow, you can like barely even read it. Stupid snow. I want to learn how to turn it off. It's kind
Yeah, I
of
don't know
annoying.
if there's a way. I asked Trouf, and he said he doesn't know if there's a way either when he works at S2, so
Yeah.
maybe he's not allowed to tell us, but I don't know.
Hmm.
I'm not a big fan of it.
It's pretty festive. It's pretty
Takes
festive.
some getting used to.
Yeah. Yep. Oh man, Christmas is coming up though, relatively soon. Tomorrow's Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna be going for a drive tomorrow. I'm going out to City of Industry.
Oh, wow.
It's not gonna be fun. Back into this game though. The game has been unpaused, and Plague Rider is starting to get some of those levels up there as the large creep wave pushes in. Middle lane, this matchup between Tundra and Meraxis. I mean, even though Tundra did get the first blood, Meraxis has been holding his own as a kill goes on in bottom lane. Pharaoh goes down to the Moon Queen and Empath. Looks like Moon Queen did activate her Moon Finale, and that's why they were able to lock Pharaoh down. Did you happen to catch that one?
Yeah, what happened was there was no creep wave there, and Empath was able to wall the Pharaoh at the tower and make him have to go all the way around. And Pharaoh used his mummy walls, and he couldn't hit the mummy on the other side of the Empath wall.
Yeah.
To get out, so he had to hit the mummy wall closest to Moon Queen, and Moon Queen's ult went off plus his Moonbeam and killed him before he can get away. So he got stuck.
I see. Top lane, Meraxis actually managed to grab an Invis rune. Tempest was camping it, and Tempest had a little bit of a misplay there. Allowed himself to be stunned by Meraxis without picking up that Invis. And, well, bottled up by Hosa here for iPel. And he's able to get his regen on, which is going to be nice for him. Although Glacial Blast coming in, the piercing shards are already there. Meraxis activates the Matrax. They're going to turn it around. Tempest goes down. They're going to try to get onto Tundra as well, but no, not quite able to. Tundra maybe wanting to turn it around once more. Essence Link is going off. The Illusory Veil breaks the link. They're going to be trying to turn it around. Piercing shards go out. Meraxis will fall. Tundra, one hit left, and he's able to escape YOLO with a huge man up again.
Wow. There's not much to comment on that other than iPel is not coordinating very well in their ganks. That was very poorly played. But that also goes back to, as I was saying earlier, Tundra has some ridiculous base armor. That's why I like him as a suicide as well when you try to man up on a support. Like I think he starts off with 5 armor without any stat items or something ridiculous like that.
Wow. It's quite a bit.
And he has like 700 something HP. It's ridiculous.
He's a pretty tanky dude is what you're saying.
Yeah, especially at level 1.
Top lane Silhouette went in. The machine trying to grab a kill onto Plague Rider. Dove the tower a bit with a tree grapple. Unfortunately, though, wasn't quite able to secure it. Did miss the Death Lotus. And the level 3 Death Lotus probably would have been enough to finish off the Plague Rider, but just couldn't connect with that one. And no instances able to survive for now. Doberman in the bottom lane taking additional pressure from Moonbeams. Moon Queen currently 390 gold per minute. Way out in front in this game.
Yeah, not only that, there's also stacks in the jungle that Empath's doing.
Yeah, as soon as she's able to get that Whispering Helm or whatever item she does choose to go for first, I would expect Whispering Helm, especially with the Helm of the Victim already picked up. She's going to be able to clear those out pretty easily and greatly increase her farm.
Yeah, Helm of the Victim into a Whispering Helm is very standard build for Moon Queen. You go Steam Boots into that and then start stacking Ancients, kill Ancients by like level 9. Get level 10 after Ancients.
Yeah, Moon Queen, she's pretty good at farming. Like, she's okay. Like, Moon Queen's pretty much as good as at farming as like a Storm Spirit is at just like being a decent item. Yeah, that was really convoluted way to say that.
Like, oh, okay.
Pharaoh in some trouble here. The face hug as well as the leech come out. Moonbeam finishes him off. Yeah, that was dumb. That was wow. Right, I'm just gonna be quiet. Talk for me, Lalond.
Yeah, that goes back to well, Porch now has a ward there. If he were to get a ward there earlier, that would have prevented a death from Doberman. There's not too many wards on the map, but I haven't really seen much counter warding.
Oh, Empath is in some trouble here. The Cold Shoulder goes straight through that Illusory Veil. Avalanche and Piercing Shards to clean her up, but good job there from DonD. They got the deny, got a counter kill. But, yeah, like you said, not a whole lot of wards, not a whole lot of counter warding going on just yet. As top tower's in some trouble. One TP going to come in, and that will secure a deny here for the Legion team.
I do like iPel's wards that they have placed. I feel after 4 minutes, lane wards are more important than rune wards. Because if you're losing a lane, you're most likely going to get ganked. If you're winning a lane, you're most likely going to get ganked. So, I like the fact that they did put lane wards first over the rune wards.
Alright. I could certainly agree with you there. The lane wards there in the bottom and middle lanes have been able to prevent some aggression coming out. As Tundra picks up an invis rune, so bottled that at 10 minutes. Might be able to make something happen here in the middle lane as Rhapsody's trying to come over, but she is not aware that there are 3 members of the Legion team. And she also just walked by a ward getting on in there. Down here at the bottom rune. And so Meraxes looked like he was trying to maybe set up a counter kill on her, but Porch gets out of there.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the ward that Electric Six put at the bottom river.
Yeah.
That can be seen by the same kind of ward that would counter the other 2 basic wards there. And I think there's a lot of other places you could place them, especially on the other hill. But it's something.
It's going to get him some vision of that rune. It's going to get him a little bit of vision of that bottom river area. So, better than nothing for sure, but I agree. It's not necessarily a great one. Illusory Veil goes up in the middle lane. Stun comes out from Minotaur. Essence Link is broken, and Tundra is going to go down. Wrath of the Pharaoh comes in. They're going to counter-initiate onto Meraxes right here. Arcane Shield goes up, and the Elemental Void going to catch 2 players right there. The Moonbeam. Moon Finale is going to be in there as well. Buyback on Tundra. He's going to come in with the Avalanche. Plague Ultimate bouncing around. Tundra's going to be in some trouble. All the Hellborn team going to be in some trouble, as Empath is actually now going to be taking a fall, as I don't even know what's going on right now. Porch is the last one to fall, but everybody else looks like they're going to get out at like 10% life. Piercing Shards goes out, and down goes Moon Queen. A very important kill there from Tundra, and both teams will fall back. Everyone was at like 20% life for like 15 seconds there.
Yeah, I think Moon Queen got a little too trigger happy on using his ultimate. If he waited a little bit longer, the creeps are going to die, and he could have hit more heroes with it. The buyback on the Tundra was unnecessary in my opinion.
Yeah.
Early on, especially later in the game, buybacks on Tundra are huge. Wasting it this early on in the game to break even on a fight is I'm not liking that at all.
He did get 2 kills.
Yeah, but I mean, like it paid itself back.
All right.
But you shouldn't have to do that this early on.
Yeah. Well, he got caught out of position, and both teams TP'd their entire teams to the middle lane. So I could understand why he wants to get back in there and help his team at least break even on the team fight. But yeah, I could agree with you. Buybacks in the later stages of the game are very, very important. But in the end there, that is what happened. Tundra was able to pick up a couple kills, so now 5-1-0, farming 289 gold per minute. He's just behind Silhouette, who's actually overtaken Moon Queen, now at 334 gold per minute, as she gets a kill with the assistance of Parasite there in the bottom lane.
It's funny how Tundra, essentially you could say, is dual laned against, because I mean Empath has come middle to help, Parasite's come middle to help, you know, and they're rune controlling for him. So it's surprisingly how he has 5 kills. He should not have that many, but that goes back to the miscommunication from iPel.
Yeah, definitely picked up a couple there in the middle lane. As Piercing Shards go out, unfortunately not going to connect with Meraxes, but do take down some trees, going to be able to get them a little bit of vision. And now they're going to turn their attention toward the tower. Shiverbird, he's flying around trying to get some information. I do believe that he saw Meraxes, but just going to be kind of hanging out now as an invisible Wild Hunter containing a Parasite comes in. Might try to set something up here, but that would be folly in my opinion. Meraxes is actually going to come in. The Staccato stuns are going out. Parasite jumps out. Facehug the Leech is there as well. Empath hits the Illusory Veil, and I did not know there was an Empath inside of that Parasite.
Yeah, that's a little cool trick that you don't really get to see too often.
Hasted Tundra throwing out some piercing shards, not quite able to make anything happen. Essence League stun goes on to Rhapsody. A lot of players here once again. A nice wall goes out, and Silhouette's going to have to run away, but in comes Wrath of the Pharaoh. The Plague is going to be bouncing around, and Demon Doberman's going to go down there on Pharaoh. Holy moly. It looks like Silhouette's in some trouble now. Another Leech is going to be ready in just a second, but nice Tree Grapple, and she is able to get out of there. Leech instead going to go into Rhapsody. Moonbeam cleans her up. Plague Rider going to fall to the piercing charge. Tundra now in some trouble, though, as Meraxis comes in, drops the Quake Stun, and down goes Tundra. Silhouette trying to get out of there as well. Tree Grapple available in 1 second. She might actually try to turn it around here. Tempest is going to try to come in and land the Elemental Void. Are they going to be able to spot anybody? No, it looks like the Hellborn team will just choose to back up. But Silhouette may be a little bit out of position right here. They're still trying to set up a bait. Silhouette's there with the Tree Grapple. Where's the Elemental Void? Where's the Elemental Void? It's not there in time. Silhouette goes down. Their counter kill onto Parasite. But losing your carry and then using the Elemental Void to get 10% of Parasite's HP, misplay there from DonD.
Yeah, they're overextending. They're crossing the river when they don't need to. I mean, it's obvious there's been a lot of fights middle, so each team has a lane ward middle. You don't want to overextend middle without countering the lane ward. Like, that's like basics. And like Pharaoh hooked onto them. Plague had a really good position for an ultimate. I don't know, they're playing very sloppy.
Yeah, DonD, they are kind of playing sloppy, and you know, as I had mentioned last week, they kind of pub stomped the other teams that they were playing against. This week, iPel, they've been around the block. They know what's going on here. They know how to play the game, and well, if you want to bring home the silver medal here, well, gold medal in the silver division, you're gonna have to step it up just a little bit, be a little bit more coordinated. And DonD, they got a little bit of work to do.
Yeah, now they have to deal with a Meraxis with a portal key, and I don't believe any of them, Tundra, Tempest, or Silhouette, have a portal key on Hellborn yet. So
yeah, Tundra and Tempest, they're the two closest. Of course, Tempest only about 500 gold off now. Once he picks that up, he might be able to land some nice Elemental Voids, but not able to grab it just yet. 224 gold per minute. And we talk about how a Tempest should be able to outfarm a Parasite, but Tempest 1, 2, and 3 simply doesn't have the kill involvement nor the creep score to be able to outfarm Tubi on the other side, who's 3, 1, and 6 on that Parasite. He's getting some pretty good farm over there at 261 gold per minute.
yeah, talking about the gold per minute chart, I'm surprised Moon Queen doesn't have more. I mean, he got the Whispering Helm. He hasn't stacked the Ancients yet with the creep. It's kind of disappointing. Has he even gotten a creep yet with the? Oh,
I don't think so.
It could be the fact that there's a lot of wild hunters in the Legion jungle, but Parasite should tell him, hey, there's a Vulture Lord here or something. Come take control of it.
Yeah. Yeah, that could be it. I was casting QSQ yesterday, Cole versus QSQ, and the Moon Queen, I think it was being played by, who was actually playing it now that I think about it? I think it was Nox. He kept dominating an Archer, just like a standard ranged creep, to stack the jungle, and it kept getting killed by dragons as soon as he attacked the dragons. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, maybe his idea was I don't have to leave the lane to go charm a creep, so I can keep getting those extra 150 gold worth of last hits or something.
Something like that. Actually, it was Forsaken Archer, not Moon Queen, with the Whispering Helm. Now that I think about it, Parasite inside of a Wild Hunter trying to set something up once again. Going to be losing that Wild Hunter momentarily and does have to break out of it. Looks like we could have another fight set up here in the middle lane as a Tormented Soul comes out. Portal Key from Tundra, so he does manage to pick that one up as well as Portal Key on Tempest. Elemental Void level 2 is available. But Tundra just showed that Portal Key off, so Legion team wisely falls pretty far back.
Yeah, that goes back to iPel, how they countered the lane ward middle. There's a counter ward middle. They saw that and they didn't overextend across the river. They're doing what they need to do, and they're getting rewarded for it.
There you go. iPel and DonD both have a ward in the exact same spot over here. Now, the ward on the lower portion right there, is that a little bit misplaced? Does that see up the cliff?
I believe it's the same vision as
Okay.
the one that Porch has placed.
All right.
Just looks weird because of how it is on the edge.
Yeah. That's always unfortunate when you do just barely misplace that due to like some weird pathing or something. I always hate that when it's like that's supposed to be on top of the cliff, not at the base of the cliff, just so you know.
I'm sure everyone that has played support has done that in their life sometime.
I do it more than most, I think. The portal keys being picked up on a couple of players here. The initiation potential is a lot greater as it looks like it's coming out there in the middle lane. Tundra went in with the avalanche onto Plague Rider, but no follow-up. TPs come in immediately, and with that on cooldown now for 60 seconds, the Hellborn team, they don't have a whole lot of initiation potential left.
Yeah, Mookie just picked up a Shrunken Head.
That's a kind of nice thing to have.
If I was a Moon Queen, I'm free farming versus Suicide Pharaoh. I would have gone something along the lines of maybe like a Geometer's Bane first. Because that'll help you. That'll increase your farm earlier. Killing stacks with the Shrunken Head doesn't really give you damage, as to where like Geometer's Bane will help you kill stacks faster, which you should have from your support and your dominated creep, and then you should have a Shrunken Head immediately after that.
Yeah.
Going first item Shrunken isn't always the worst idea, but I think going Geometer's Bane first or any type of damage item would have been better.
Yeah, I could agree with you there. That at least picking up something like a Firebrand, just to give you a little bit more
even a
movement.
Firebrand into a Shrunken Head would have been better than going straight Shrunken Head.
That's my preferred build there. As Tundra's ult is going to be back up in about 7 seconds. We'll see if they try to make something happen here in the middle lane. Port's coming in. They're going to try to defend this tower. Tundra is in the front lines. Ultimate onto Meraxis in the backfield, but Protective Melody going to be able to save. It looks like Pharaoh for the time being. Elemental Void going to be able to catch 2 players, but broken up immediately by Rhapsody. The Moon Finale from Moon Queen was able to take out Rhapsody, and, well, looks like DonD is in full retreat here. Empath going to be able to try to get over here toward Tundra, maybe have the cutoff, but no. Portal keys away. Well, Leech is there from Parasite, and a couple more auto attacks, and Tundra might die, but they don't want to go up just yet. And so a very nice right there from iPel. They were able to get the tower. Moon Queen with her Moon Finale was able to pick up a couple players. And then the initiation there onto Meraxis. I don't know about that.
Yeah, I really liked how Moon Queen walked up. They saw that he was either going to get the tower tonight or go for the tower. He grew some balls, went for the tower, popped their Shrunken Head right before the tower was about to die so they couldn't stun him. Finished off the tower. Oh wait, no, the tower did get denied.
Did it?
Oh, it did. I thought he got it,
wow.
honestly. That's my bad. I thought he got it. But I liked how he was playing up on it and popped the Shrunken Head to try to get the last hit on the tower. And his positioning for the Tempest ult was amazing. He was able to pick off the Rhapsody and the Pharaoh while Tempest ulted 2 or 3 heroes, and then got interrupted by the Rhapsody or Empath.
Yeah, I keep calling them each
Yeah,
other
I
because
keep mixing him up too.
they look similar.
Yeah, Tempest should have went a lot sooner. He should have went when the Moon Queen was walking up to the tower. He would have got 2 or 3 of the heroes, and then he could have followed up with.
Silhouette has a portal key, but she might be in a little bit of trouble here. Ensign's Link goes out. Quake is there. Face Hug comes in. Wrath of the Pharaoh comes in as well as Mummy Wall. Avalanche is up as well. Plague bouncing around to the back. Parasite goes down. Pharaoh's in some trouble right here. Matrax explodes, and he goes down as well. Looks like iPel in for another good fight. But the the Hellborn team able to retreat. And in the bottom lane, Moon Queen able to pick up another tower. iPel capitalizing as a Rhapsody goes down. Meraxis gets a hat trick right there. No, hat trick is actually coming out for Plague Rider. GG well played's coming out though as DonD, 13,000 golden experience behind, opt to go into game 2.
Yeah, I mean, DonD is getting 4v5 without the Legion's Moon Queen.
Yeah. So fake GGs.
That must mean they're arguing with each other on Skype or something, and one person is raging. And
well, you can see up there, Porch says excitable player. Yeah. So somebody's raging. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, DonD, they, from what I've seen, I've never seen them lose a game. So maybe they're not used to losing, not used to be possibly playing against teams of this caliber.
I mean, I'm sure no one wants to get used to losing. I mean, if someone gets used to losing, that's just not a good attitude to have when you're trying to enter a tournament. But
Yeah, I suppose there's some competitive mindset there that you have to have. But, yeah, DoND, they are trying to pull it back together here, but maybe a little bit of dissent there on Skype, like you had mentioned. Talk about the signs of life for them, though. Silhouette, she picks up a portal key. She also has a Mighty Blade and a life tube, so going for 3 items at the same time.
She was like, I'm gonna go no stone. Actually, we need more initiations since he's probably like, Tundra, you're really bad at initiating. I'll just get a portal key and do it. So he gets a portal key and he's like, man, I really need a Shrunken Head so I don't get killed by Moon Queen's ultimate. So he's like, can't decide what he needs to get.
Yeah, which is unfortunate. I mean, there's something to be said about having stat items, you know, a steam staff or something like that, but when you got a life tube and a Mighty Blade that aren't really doing a whole lot for you, I mean, giving you a little bit of HP and a little bit of HP regen, but that 1850 gold could have been allocated towards something else. If he had just bucked up, he could have finished up that nullstone by now.
Yeah, I would have done that. I mean, if you're going to go for the nullstone, you should finish it. You shouldn't stop, get a portal key. But,
yeah.
I don't think Silhouette has the mana pool to be able to portal key into a fight, use his ultimate, tree grapple, and Death Lotus without having a nullstone, or maybe a little bit more levels. But
yeah, I could agree with you there. As top tower does go down in favor of Morax's. Parasite was there with the assist, and it looks like the Legion team, led by an invisible Plague Rider, now with an empath inside, they're going to try to catch somebody out, and that somebody might be Tundra. They're going to find the co-roll here, and immediately Tundra portal keys out of there, does not want to get caught out of position.
Yeah, I believe the Hawk saw that all that happened as it was on its way to the camp in the top left. I think as it was on its way there, he saw them empath jump into somebody invisible.
Yeah, it's got to be kind of something weird to see.
plus the word of sight on the hill because I'm full vision.
Silhouette trying to take out some double stacked ancients over here, but you see she is not having nearly as good of a time as Moon Queen. Tempest and Tundra. Tundra goes in with the avalanche right here onto Moon Queen, but immediately portal keys away. Meraxis tries to get the initiation onto Tempest, but out of there she is, and Moon Queen activates the Shrunken Head, so... And
wasted her ultimate.
And her... Oh! Okay, Wrath of the Pharaoh goes in on to Moon Queen right here. Now she might be in a little bit of trouble. Veil going to be going up in the backfield, and Rhapsody going to be in some trouble. Pharaoh goes down as well. Elements of Void going to catch 2, but the face hug is able to interrupt it. The Plague bouncing around, going to take out Tempest. That's 3 players down for the Hellborn team. The tower falls too. That's the last outer tower, and DonD went from bad to worse in that engagement.
Yeah, well, I mean, iPel messed up. Moon Queen ran in, popped Shrunken Head, popped ulti. Nothing happened. Then they got counter-initiated by Pharaoh, and it seemed like they were actually going to lose that fight, but Parasite stayed out, stopped the Tempest Hole. Really just good positioning by that Parasite that fight.
Well, and there's just not a lot of damage at all here from the Hellborn team.
Another thing, too, was when Silhouette's killing the Ancients, he doesn't have a teleport scroll, so if they get initiated on, he has to go back and heal, and then he has to TP to the tower.
Yeah.
By the time that happens, he's not going to be able to do anything.
Yeah, you really have to play to your hero's strengths, and some of the strengths of that Silhouette are mobility. You should be able to be there with your team. You should be able to beat full life and mana when they need you. That's what your shadow is for. That's what TPs are for. And unfortunately, just trying to get the Ancients done, not as efficient over there without a whole lot of damage, without lifesteal, without a nullstone. And Silhouette takes a lot of damage. You can see she's cleaning up single-stacked Ancients right here. Loses a third of her life and half of her mana pool.
Yeah, Parasite picked up a portal key as well, which is going to make it even harder for the Tempest to get a good ult off. And Meraxis, he didn't have the Hellfire last fight, did he? Meraxis, I don't think
he just picked it up.
He just picked it up as well.
Yeah, Moon Queen picked up her Geometer's Bane as well. She's in some trouble here. The Avalanche goes out, landing the Staccato stuns. The stun there from the Tree Grapple, and she will go down. So a nice pick off there from the Machine, teaming up with Porch. And YOLO now in some trouble as the Facehug has been shown off. Quake goes out onto Rhapsody, and Rhapsody will take a fall right here. Piercing Shards go out, but not going to be able to deter the Legion from bringing home their prize. Rhapsody does take a fall. It's going to be her 6th death of the game.
That's the 30-minute no-boot stuff for support Rhapsody.
Poor Porch. Poor Porch. I like that guy. We talk sometimes and played against the Machine and Porch and TMM a few days ago. They had a troll on their team and they got stomped. It's always the worst when you have somebody that's just hell bent on making your life really miserable in a game. That's what they did have. But I got the win, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I did notice a lot that there's more trolls when there's you can just make a free account and troll people on it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. So taking a look at items once again, you mentioned the portal key, the Hellflower being picked up. Moon Queen after her death still has 2,000 gold. A couple of tablet of commands picked up on the supports here for the iPel team. And Plague Rider starting to work on Storm Spirit. So that's going to be relatively nice. Now, what do you expect Moon Queen to maybe go for next?
There's a lot of things he can go. Honestly, I really like Energizer. But it's a much more earlier item, I would say. But if not, maybe I don't know. That's actually a good question. Like normally those are the 3 items you need on Moon Queen to win the game. Is what he has.
Yeah.
But maybe converting it into
Symbol of Rage.
Symbol of Rage. I forgot what the item was called.
Oh, Empath in some trouble right here. Electric 6. Oh, he manages to get into the Plague Rider. They're going to try to turn it around. Shark Head being activated, though, on Silhouette as she starts to pound some damage out. But she does TP out of that shadow immediately before it gets Hellflowered. So nice reflexes there. And Empath does live, so great job to Electric 6, able to survive.
Yeah, not much said there. I mean, just did what he needed to do to survive. I believe if I don't think he would have had the opportunity to Hellflower the Silhouette because the swap is he swapped it right before the BKB wore off. So I don't think he could have done anything.
Well done then. I would not have had the presence of mind to do that. I would have tried to do it immediately afterward and be like, why can't I do this? Why am I dead? But that's why they're playing and I'm just sitting here casting. Parasite picks up a couple of Arcanas. He's going to work on a Hellflower of his own. That's, of course, going to be very nice to have. Get the double initiation there from Miraxis and Parasite.
Yeah, like the way that Porsche's team is playing it, I don't think it's bad. I mean, they can't really push and they can't really initiate on it. They have to wait for Legion team to push and get a good Tempest Toll, like Pharaoh Hook into a Tempest Toll or something like that.
Yeah, they really do need to wait for the Legion team to get out of position and get a good initiation there and take a strong team fight. So far, the Legion team not really giving them too many opportunities. Kongor goes down, Moon Queen picks it up, 4,300 gold in the bank. I would like to see a nice damage item coming out of her. You mentioned the Symbol of Rage. It's a possibility. I wouldn't mind seeing a Wingbow, actually.
Yeah, Wingbow's actually not bad versus a team, especially because there's no way that Silhouette's going to be able to get a Savage Mace anytime soon.
Yeah.
And it would be a pretty good item.
Silhouette does actually vendor her Life Tube. So she's saying, nope, not going to go for... Oh, they're trying to go in for the initiation here on the Tempest, but unfortunately not able to. After the Pharaoh comes back out, as Moon Queen might be in a little bit of trouble here. Not able to get her shrunken head off. The Aegis of Life, Token of Life, will bring her back up. Protector Melody going to go off, trying to make something happen here. Silhouette going to pour it out with her Shadow. The Matrax explodes and takes that one down. Illusions from Moon Queen might be able to get a kill onto the Suffer support back here. But no, it looks like she is able to get into the base. But Rhapsody almost just died to Illusions, 100-0 right there.
And the Quarry almost died to the bouncing as well.
Really? I didn't see that part.
Yeah, it dropped pretty low.
Wow. And Legion team, they back off, using that Token of Life, getting a little bit of damage onto that tower, but not able to secure any kills.
The Hellborn pauses?
Yeah, I believe that's the third pause here for the Hellborn team. Somebody was talking YOLO on the Tundra, talking a little bit about some lag, some mini DCs earlier, so unfortunate for him. Hopefully he can get this resolved in a timely manner. Now, Signs of Life here for the Hellborn team. Barbed Armor has been picked up on the level 13 Pharaoh, so he's going to be able to return some of the damage, and that's a great item to have with that against that Moon Queen, if she does not have that shrunken head up, she's going to be taking a ton of damage back from that barbed armor.
Yeah, the thing too, if that's the sole reason he got the barbed armor as well, he should sell his Mystic Vestments so that the Moon Queen does take more damage.
Okay. Yeah, I'd love for him to have a bit higher health pool, talking 1,700, 1,800, something along there, with a Helm of the Black Legion or something, but unfortunately just doesn't have the money for it right now. Yeah. Tundra disconnects right there, but he has picked up a Soul's Bulwark. Currently does have that set to offensive, I believe. Yeah. And it always annoys me that the Soul's Bulwark and the Steam Boots, the things that you can toggle, they're always set to one thing on the item preview, and you it doesn't change when they change them.
Lazy coding. Okay, no.
Hey, I'll say it, lazy coding. Tundra reconnects right here, and Tempest picks up a Mighty Blade, so he's going to be working on that shrunken head. Going to have that in 1,800 gold. Not too far off at 201 gold per minute. That would be 9 minutes from now. But we'll see if they do make it to that point, or if Tempest is able to pick that up maybe a little bit sooner.
Okay, gonna try. So he's the one getting DC signs on the Hellborn team.
Yeah, YOLO on the Tundra.
Okay.
So they are going to unpause here and give it another go. Now, Silhouette, she's so broke right now. 350 gold per minute. What does she need to go in order to get herself back into the game? What is the best item choice for her?
Honestly, she needs to probably save up for an important buyback to win a team fight, and she needs to see what Moon Queen's items next going to be. Because if she goes, let's say, Shieldbreaker, and Moon Queen shows a Wingbow, she's going to regret not getting that Slayer into a Savage Mace.
Yeah.
So,
all right. So
and she knows that Moon Queen's been killing stacks and hasn't bought an item in the past like 7 to 8 minutes. So,
yeah, Moon Queen at 540 gold per minute. She's kind of farmed. And Wingbow. So there you go. And now Silhouette should be able to start working on a Savage Mace to get the True Strike to be able to counter that Wingbow.
At least that's what we hope.
That's what we would hope. Of course, the True Strike also helps for hitting uphill in the towers if they ever get a chance to counter push. And just the overall damage, the stun capabilities of that Savage Mace make it a favorite for a lot of Silhouette players. But most Silhouettes at this point have a few more items at this point in the game.
Yeah, it's been a little rough for the Hellborn team. I think they're just scrounging to get every last bit of gold they can.
Yeah. And
they're hoping that Legion just pushes and gets impatient. But iPel's playing it very smart. They're farming their items. They picked up a Hellflower on Parasite, a Storm Spirit on Plague Rider. They got a token and used it earlier, I believe. Like they're not pushing without a token. They're not pushing. They're not forcing anything. Like they lost token bottom. They backed out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, so they will play patient. We'll see if they do wait for another Kongor, as a couple more items are picked up. Storm Spirit and another Hellflower have been finished, in addition to that Wingbow. And Soul's Bulwark on to Mirax is currently on offensive. He's going to be starting to save up a little bit more. And Slayer picked up here by Silhouette, so she will start to work on that Savage Mace. Now, she does not have enough money for a buyback if they were to get into some kind of a team fight here.
Yeah, I would have, like I said, I would have saved money up for the Savage Mace on Silhouette in case I needed that buyback for a team fight. Because this is a point in the game where buying back and winning a team fight is good. Because even if Legion buys back after you buy back, you forced a farmed hero buyback. You know, it's just,
yeah.
It's, I don't know, I would have waited to buy the Slayer. The extra, was it 40 damage, 40 something damage, 46 damage isn't going to make that much of a difference. It's much better to have the buyback.
Yeah, well, I mean, 46 damage, that's a large portion of the Silhouette's damage. She's only hitting for 167 to 172 right now. But like you said, it's not a huge amount. She kind of needs it as well, because she was hitting kind of like a pea shooter before.
Oh no, she definitely needs it, but it's not gonna make a difference against the Moon Queen.
Yeah,
it might be, because if she gets, let's say she gets caught out of position, doesn't have a buyback, then that Slayer did nothing.
Yep. That is true. Moon Queen ports to the bottom tower. Did you even realize that this bottom tier 1 tower is still up 40 minutes into this game?
Yeah.
That's
The only tower I know they got was the top one.
not bad. Oh, the middle one's up too? Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, DoND, I mean, if they're ever able to take a team fight and get a little bit of counter push going on, maybe take 2 or 3 towers, the easy 2 outer towers and maybe a secondary, that's going to be a lot of gold injected into their team. And that would certainly be something nice to have, but a little bit unfortunate that they haven't been able to push down those towers, and 21,000 golden experience down right now. I mean, the chances of them taking a team fight without gross misplays from the Legion, pretty low.
Yeah, what they needed to do is get an eye on Tundra, control the map, control the jungle. Once they see them coming towards them, backing up, go killing Ancients, go back to the jungle.
Tundra's going to go in right here. Avalanche on to Moon Queen. Wrath of the Pharaoh. Nice Storm Spirit. Going to be able to save her for now, though. And Moon Queen will try to turn this one around. Elemental Void catching 3 in the background. Protective Melody trying to keep everybody up, but it looks like in the middle of things, Moon Queen trying to activate that ultimate. She takes down 2 players. Tundra and Pharaoh have both gone down. Rhapsody going to be in some trouble right here. She goes down to the Quake, and Silhouette trying to get out of there, uses the Shadow, and will be able to port out, but her entire team falls. 4 for nothing, and Silhouette now in some serious trouble. She's going to try to start working on some Ancients. This is a bit of a dangerous position to be in, Silhouette.
Yeah, they got impatient. Tundra jumped in way out of position from the team. There was no way they could follow up. I have no idea what Tundra was thinking there.
Yeah, Tundra. Like
he was yellowing it, as you could say.
You could just hear him, the horn that he's carrying. He just goes, YOLO! Just calls down an avalanche. Silhouette tries to go in right here, but Hellflower's being activated. She does fall, and that might be the straw that breaks the camel's back. As, well, maybe that won't be, but 100 glaives being thrown across the base. Rhapsody going to be taken out once again. She does go down. Tempest comes back up, as well as a buyback in from a couple other players. Everybody's taking a ton of damage. Mirax is in the middle of the things. Everybody just dying. Moon Queen's just killing everything. Regen Rune has been activated on Tundra, and he's able to escape, and Miraxis does manage to escape as well. Silhouette will take a fall after buying back. Moon Queen just way too strong. She's in position to try to kill this Pharaoh. GG well played are coming out, and the Legion team does take game number 1 here. iPel up 1-0 in this series.
Yeah, I mean, not much to be said about that game. The game looked pretty over around the 18 to 20 minute mark, but you can't blame them for trying. It's a tournament at all, you know?
Yeah, this is the last game for them for the next couple of weeks. So they do want to make something happen here. Of course, both of these teams have already advanced into that gold division, so we'll be seeing them there next time. But you, of course, do want the grand prize there from silver, the points, the cash. I don't know what that is off the top of my head, but Lalond, we're going to go to a very quick break before we do get game number 2 set up. You have any shout-outs?
Shout out to Bal for waking me up, and shout out to you for inviting me.
All right. Well, Lalond, thank you for being here. I just looked it up. Silver is 500 points and $500 for first place. And 500 points, that's rather substantial. That's not bad. That's the same as getting 4th place in gold. So they do want those points, of course, if they do hope to qualify in those top 11 teams for the playoff type thing for HoN Tour. But guys, we're going to go to a quick break, get game number 2 set up here. This is coLcast with your casting host Beef and Lalond. Big shout out to S2 Games for allowing us to be here casting HoN Tour today. We are, of course, going to be doing this one. We're going to be going into the gold round of 4, lower bracket round of 4 after this series, and then the bronze finals to round it out a little bit later on today. So huge shout out to S2. Huge shout out to Complexity Gaming for making coLcast happen as well. Check them out at complexitygaming.com, facebook.com/complexitygaming, and Twitter at ComplexityLive. Guys, we'll be back in just a couple of minutes with game number 2 in the series. Don't go anywhere.